All right, we're going to look at what happens when we have to do conversions where there's multiple units involved. So the first one we're going to do is meters per second to miles per hour. Okay? So you'll notice I have to go from meters to miles and I have to go from seconds to hours. So how do we do this? So you do them one at a time. So how we'll start out is we have 15 meters per second. And I want to get rid of meters and I want to go to miles. Well, in order to do that, I'm going to need to use my conversion factor. That's 1,609 meters. So 1,609 meters is 1 mile. Now the next step is I got to get from seconds to hours. Now you'll notice seconds is on the bottom. So in order to get rid of it, I need to move it to the top. And so then I can go to minutes, and then I can go from minutes to hours. And there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, 60 minutes in 1 hour. And you'll notice then my seconds cancel out, my minutes cancel out, and I'll be left with miles per hour. So I do this calculation, and I get 34 miles per hour. So one thing to keep in mind is when you're getting answers and they're in meters per second, you have to kind of have an idea of what they mean. So a good rule is if they're going from 0 to 10 meters per second, that's about how fast you can walk, run, and bike. From about 10 to 20 meters per second, that's how fast people drive on the street or the road, anything below 45 miles an hour, essentially. And then from 20 to 30, now we're on the highway. We're driving down the 55 mile an hour, 65 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour roads, okay? The next one I'm going to do has multiple units, but it has multiple units in the sense that this one is cubed. So how do we do it when we have units that have exponents on it? So this one, we're looking at gold. Gold has a density of 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter. So one little cubic centimeter has 19.3 grams. Now, I watch a fair amount of movies, and in the movies they always steal gold because it's valuable, right? So I was thinking, okay, so let's say I was able to somehow come across a cubic meter of gold. Okay? So cubic meter of gold, for those of you that are having a hard time visualizing this for you, would be 1 meter by 1 meter and then stick out from the board to about here. Now, this would be about the size of a small pallet. You might see at a home improvement store. Okay? So, I mean, if it was just an empty box, I could carry it. I could carry an empty box, and then I would just go fill it with gold, and I would have a full box of gold. I want to know how many kilograms that full box of gold would be if it was a cubic meter box. So, let's start this out. So I start with 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter. Now, I want to get rid of grams and go to kilograms. So I like to do the top one first. I can go from a base to a prefix. And I always got to remember the 1 goes with the prefix. And the prefix goes on the bottom. So I have 1 kilogram, and kilo has to mean something that's on the bottom, so it means 10 to the 3rd. So now I've gotten to kilograms. So now I know how many kilograms are in a cubic meter, cubic centimeter, but I want to find cubic meter. So I want to get rid of centimeters. So I have centimeters on the bottom, so I put it on top. Okay. And then I want to go to meters. And again, 1 goes with the prefix. Centi means 10 to the negative 2. But something to keep in mind here is this is centimeters cubed. This is like me saying 1 over centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. And if I just multiply by centimeters, that's only going to cancel out one of them. So I either have to multiply by the same thing 3 times, or, because it's cubed, I can cube this whole term. Now when I cube that whole term, if I distribute that cube in, it's going to cube each and every part. Okay? And you'll see this thing 10 to the negative 2 cubed is going to be 10 to the negative 6. So I type this into my calculator and I come out with 19,300 kilograms per cubic meter. So I just need to find a truck that can handle 19,300 kilograms, and then I can drive away with my big thing of gold. Remember, I can just pick it up. 19,000 sounds kind of big. Maybe I can't pick that up. Maybe I'll put it in pounds so I can figure out how many pounds per cubic meter that is. And maybe that'll help me understand it. Okay? So I try that. I say, okay, let's get rid of kilograms and go to pounds. Now this conversion only works on Earth, but it's 2.2 pounds per 1 kilogram. And I end up with something like 46,000, what was it? 22,460, sorry. 22,460, 42,460, sorry. 42,460 pounds. Okay. Put that in another perspective for you, that's about 21 tons. So, 21 tons. Now I'm thinking about those movies I watched. The Italian Job stole gold and put it in those little Mini Coopers. Now, those little Mini Coopers are maybe a ton. How much gold can I fit in? Let's say I double the weight of the car. So I put in a whole nother ton. That means that of my big box of gold, I can only fit 1/21 or 21st of it in there. That's not much. So maybe gold isn't the best thing to steal, because stealing is wrong.